Alex Becker is one of the biggest names in crypto. He's made tens of millions of dollars trading, all while admitting he's not very good at it. So how does he do it? Well, I've watched Becker's videos for the past 4 years, probably hundreds of hours, and today I'm breaking down his top 5 crypto strategies, and I'm going to show you how to apply them so you can actually make these gains for yourself. And I will say, over my 7 years of trading in crypto, I've made more money from following these strategies that Becker laid out than any other creator, investor, or even paid trading group that I've joined. So there's gonna be a ton of value in this video. And if you're new here, I make crypto simple and actionable for everyone. So if you wanna make smarter investments and stay ahead of the markets, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into Becker. Strategy number 1 is to invest in undervalued sectors. This is so important because what happens when you first come into crypto is you're bombarded by a million different coins, right? You hear about Bitcoin, you hear about Ethereum, you hear about Solana maybe. And then after that, it gets really overwhelming because there's thousands and thousands of crypto projects out there. What Becker does is he picks 1 to 2 niches and he specializes in them. And this is huge because so much of crypto is about understanding why projects are being talked about. Why are people buying into them, right? If a project all of a sudden spikes up, I need to know the difference between people buying it because it's a great project and people want to invest and get in early and that's pushing the price up, but it's going to continue to run because it's an amazing project, or did some influencer or someone on TV talk about the coin and it's doing a quick pump, everyone's trying to come in and then they're all going to dump and sell. That's how so many people lose money in crypto, is they see a coin start to run, they don't do any research, they just buy in not knowing that it was a pump and then it's going to drop back down. So what Becker's done is he focuses on gaming and he focuses on AI, which are also my 2 favorite sectors, and he's become an expert in those categories. So how do you become an expert? First of all, you need to know the top 10, top 20, maybe even top 50 coins in that sector. And you can go to CoinGecko, you can click on categories, you go to gaming, and you can just click on these projects, go to their Twitter, go to their website, start to get familiar with them. You can click the all time frame and you can see the chart. Were they around in 2020, 2021? Did they have a big pump and a drop, but have they been steadily building over the last few years, growing their following, their community, and now they're coming out with new announcements going into this run? If so, that's likely a bullish chart and something I would definitely keep an eye on. So once you have some knowledge about the category that you're going to focus on, you followed all the Twitter accounts, you've gone through the websites, it's time to start figuring out which ones to invest in. Now, you want to remember when you're going into these undervalued sectors, there is more risk. And this is a great place to mention, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you want financial advice, find a financial advisor. Okay, great. Glad we got that out of the way. Now, with more risk also means more reward. And this is where Becker has really been able to do insane gains because he's not just investing in the coins at the top of the ecosystem, right? For AI, that's Tau, that's Render. These are coins with multi-billion-dollar market cap. They're legit companies. They're on the exchanges. But he goes not just 1 layer deeper, but 2, 3, 4 layers deeper. He's getting down to the coins, as he describes, you don't bring home to mom, right? These ones are super sus. We don't even know if the teams are necessarily real, what's going on. And he puts a little bit into those as well. So what does your portfolio look like and how can you diversify it? Well, first of all, let me say that I keep a good amount of my full portfolio into major tokens. That's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum, that's Solana, that's AVAX, projects that I know that even if the market crashes, they're still going to be around, they're still going to be building, they're not going anywhere, right? That's really important because you don't want to get completely drained in crypto. But from there, you want to put some into the bigger coins in the category that you're specializing in. And then you want to go down into the mid caps. So mid caps in AI, for instance, Becker really loves Desync. I think it's a great project. OXO. These are projects in the 100 million to 500 million range. Still pretty risky, but slightly more established. Once you get under $100 million market cap, this is where you're getting into high risk land. And you want to be really careful here, but this is where you can make the massive gains. So it's important to figure out what your personal risk tolerance is. And we'll talk a lot more about trading strategies on this channel in other videos. But personally, once I get a 2-3x on a token, I like to take out some of that initial investment, try to protect myself from losses. And again, remember to keep a good amount of your portfolio into major projects. It can be tempting when you see numbers up to just want to dump everything into these small coins, but trust me, there will be pullbacks and they'll be extreme. So you want to make sure that you're protected on both sides. Strategy number 2 is to enter early and exit smart. Timing is everything in crypto. It's not hard to find the good projects. They're going to be talked about everywhere on Twitter, on the news. Everyone's going to be screaming about them in Telegram chats. It's hard to find the good projects early. And the real big gains are from doing the extra bit of research, finding them early. So how do you find projects early? It's one of the most common questions that I get. Well, a lot of it comes down to just being a little bit smarter than everyone else. A lot of people will watch Becker's YouTube channel, they'll see what coins he talks about, and they'll go buy them. That's not a bad strategy. You're still in fairly early, but by the time it's gotten to his YouTube, he's filmed the video, he's had it edited, uploaded, you watched it. There's probably been days, maybe even a week has gone by since he bought the coin and found out about it. So we need to go a layer or two deeper, and this is the real secret. First of all, you need to go to Twitter. You need to follow him, ZSS Becker. Also follow my Twitter at Matt Stefanina, because I post a lot of stuff earlier than I do on YouTube as well. And you want to turn on his notifications, and not just him. You need to go through the people he follows. You need to go through the people that he's mentioning and talking to, finding other people in those sectors, right? If your sectors are gaming or AI, you can find all of these people that are doing tons of research, 24/7 researching and posting their strategies, posting their calls on Twitter. Now, this does not mean that you should believe all of them and just go buy everything that they talk about, because guess what? When they've talked about something, they likely bought it earlier. Even when they talk about something on Twitter, they still probably already bought a bunch and they're holding on to it and they're trying to pump their bags as well, right? But here's the thing, you're going to get it way sooner. And remember how I talked about at the beginning, Becker's admittedly not a great trader, not a great researcher. He doesn't want to be in the weeds. He has his own companies. He has a lot of things going on. So he has people that he watches and he talks to get advice from. So if you can get down into these deeper layers and find people that are really doing the research, that's where you can have a leg up. For instance, through Becker, I found Crypto God John, who's also really bullish on the gaming and AI space. And he was talking to Becker about a token called GPU, which I invested in at 22 cents. It's now up over $1, so a clean 5x. And the only reason I found it is because I was going down the rabbit hole on AI tokens, found this conversation that they were having, and was able to put in some investment early. Now, the second part of this is to exit smart. Remember, you don't make any profits in crypto unless you actually sell. So as things are going up, as you're getting these multiples, you made a great call, you made a great investment, make sure you take some profit. And Becker is not afraid to admit that he will sell even on his followers. He doesn't care. He's letting you know in advance, I'm going to sell. So just a heads up, don't be shocked when I do. And this is a really important strategy to apply for yourself, because so often my friends will say to me, I want to sell, but the community, I don't want to let my friends down. The last thing you want to do in crypto is marry your bags. This is a PvP world. It's very tough. And most people, 90, 95, 98% even of people in crypto will lose money because they hold on for too long. They hold on to the wrong projects. So don't marry your bags. If you get in early and you're making those multiples, take your initial out, start taking some profits. Strategy number 3 is to cut losses fast. Now, there's 2 types of losses, right? First one is that a project gets some FUD, which means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is whenever someone comes out on Twitter and says, I don't think this project's legit, here's why, or they're making a bad decision and we should all sell, right? And people sell, but the project might still be really good. Maybe they just made a bad choice. Maybe it was a bad take from someone, and that project is likely going to come back up. That's not the time to sell. The time to sell is when you can tell that the project is not executing on the things that they promised, and it's just slowly declining, and there's nothing really to bring it back. They're not holding up their end of the deal. They're not being transparent. Their community is starting to weaken. These are signs of a project that might not come back. And Becker's really good at cutting those losses the same way he's good at selling on the way up and taking profits. When a project is headed downhill, he's not afraid to jump ship and put that investment into a better project. Now, if you're coming from things like stocks, people will say, well, put in a stop loss, and you can do that. But the difficulty in crypto is that when we have these corrections, when we have these pullbacks, sometimes altcoins like this, especially in gaming and AI, they can drop down 30, 40, even 50% in a matter of hours and then recover pretty quickly as well. So if you do put stop losses in, just know that there's potential risk there as well. And going back to strategy 1, this is why it's so important to know your niche. niche, because if you're newer in crypto, when you see those red days and your entire portfolio is down 30 or 40%, it's difficult to swallow. I remember my first cycle in 2017, I was like, what's happening? Like, the market's crashing. We're going to zero. I need to sell everything. And the people that make it out in crypto profitable are the ones that are able to look at those moments and say, is this truly crashing? Are we truly going to zero? Or is there some news? Is there some events? Is there something going on in the markets that's causing this dip, and this is actually a great place to buy? At the end of the day, you need to remember, emotion is the enemy in crypto. Do your research, know your niche, and invest with confidence. Strategy number 4 is to focus on the long term. Day trading in crypto is one of the hardest things in the world to do. And when you watch the markets for a while, you start to get this sense of like, I think I know what's going to happen, right? You're looking at it, you're like, Bitcoin, I think it's going to go up tomorrow, and it goes up, and you're like, oh, and then you're like, well, it's been going up for a few days. I feel like we're due for a correction. And you're, oh yeah, okay, I'm getting really good at this, right? You start to get a little bit too confident. We've all done this. And then Bitcoin out of nowhere, boom or boom, it surprises you, right? It's one of the hardest things to predict day to day. But what I do know, what I do feel really confident in, is that if I zoom out 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, Bitcoin is going to continue to go up over long periods of time. Now, when we're looking at things like gaming and AI, the cycles are much shorter. Some of these projects might only last for this bull run, but Becker is still looking at 6 to 12, maybe even 14, 18 months if the bull run continues for these projects. These are not get in and it goes up 20% and you sell a week later. He's looking for the 5, 10, 50x multiples. And that's why it's so important to find projects that have a strong foundation, have utility, means something that you can actually use them for. And most importantly, and this is the secret, so if you made it this far in the video, you deserve it, they have a story. Of all the things that Becker uses to his advantage, a good story around a project is his winning ticket. And the thing about a story is it's so powerful in investing. I mean, think about just anything. Like, imagine I'm selling you this microphone and I say, hey, it's a really good microphone, works well, you know, it's Bluetooth, so you can upload from a distance and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. It sounds really good. Now, what if I told you that it was invented by Elon Musk and it was backed by Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg thinks it's going to be the future? You'd be like, where do I sign up? How do I give you my money, right? Nothing changed. The microphone is exactly the same, but the idea, the story that these powerful people believe in it and it's the future of technology has made you feel so confident in this that you're literally willing to throw your money at, right? This is the same idea in crypto. If you have an AI token and you're like, oh, it's AI, it's data, okay, that's cool. But if you're like, it's an AI token that's going to revolutionize gaming by creating in-game assets that people can buy, and it's already profitable because it's using the GPU computing power, which is actually connecting to companies like NVIDIA, and you go on this story, and right, all of a sudden this project is so much more appealing than others because of that story. And this is what you want to look at when you're looking at projects. And this is something that Becker does masterfully. He understands stories, he understands hype, and he goes heavy into the projects that he believes have the narrative, have the story to create that insane hype cycle in a bull market. Now, strategy number 5 is a little controversial, but it's to leverage crypto cycles. In crypto, as you may know, we have these more or less 4-year cycles, right? Bitcoin, everything goes up, it starts to crash, it stays pretty boring for a couple years, and then, oh, the markets come back. And this is just the way that it's been for the last 10 years. We have these cycles, right? So Becker knows this. And if you look at his YouTube uploads over the past 5 years, he went so heavy in 2020, 2021, 2022. And then when the market died down, he pretty much stopped posting. And a lot of people were mad. They're like, oh, you're leaving the space, you're fake, you're this or that. Honestly, he just knows that he's not going to get views. He's not going to get attention. Nobody cares about crypto when no one's making money. As much as we love the technology, as much as we love the NFT art and we love the community, we love all these things, let me tell you, for the last 2 years, it was pretty boring around here. No one was making videos. No one was making money. People were building. There were companies in AI and gaming especially that were building incredible projects, but nobody was talking about them. Crypto is all about cycles. And lucky for you, if you're watching this video right now, we're about to enter what I think could be one of the biggest bull markets of all time. This is going to be an incredible cycle if you play it well. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, I'll dabble a little bit now, and then in a year or two, I'm really going to start doing research and start investing more, don't do it. If you're going to go into crypto, if you want to have an opportunity of a lifetime, now is the time to do the research. Take that day. Instead of going to the barbecue on Sunday, stay home, looking up Twitters. Don't wait, because now is the time to be doing the research, finding these projects early and investing into them. Because remember, these bull cycles like we're entering now only last for a year, sometimes less, sometimes more, but you don't want to count on this being around and being an opportunity for years to come. We also don't know what's going to happen with regulation over the next few years. So trust me, you want to take advantage of this cycle. So how can you take action from this video? Well, number one was to find your niche. If you like gaming, if you like AI, amazing. You can follow Becker, you can follow me, stay tapped in here. If it's another niche, like maybe DeFi, whatever it is, go down the rabbit hole, follow Twitters, turn on notifications, study the coins, be familiar with all of the top projects, and know the experts in your field. And then when you're ready to invest, remember to diversify that portfolio. Don't go all into gaming. Don't go all into small cap coins, right? Keep some things in the bigger tokens, the safer projects within your sector. Keep some money into the bigger market cap coins. Gamble a little on the smaller ones that you really believe in, but remember to be responsible. After that, all you got to do is not be emotional, which is much easier said than done in crypto, but you really want to try to remove the emotion from it. That's why we're doing the research up front. I'm going to keep helping you on this channel, and we're going to get a lot more into certain tokens and what I'm investing in. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have notifications on, because I'm going to be doing my best here to simplify crypto for you and help you take the most advantage possible of this cycle. I'll see you guys on the next video.